All right. Okay, then. So I'm glad all of you signed up for Republic Day Forensics because it's going to teach you a lot. We deliberately have a mix of formats this time so that everybody gets to practice not just the very complex formats like Asian parliamentary debates, but also simpler formats like turncoat. It's very easy to understand. So we're hoping the younger category will find it easy and enriching to participate in this format, in these formats, right? Now, Indian debate, for something about Indian Debating League in general and Ogly, we keep organizing tournaments. All of those updates are available on Instagram, our channel, Indian Debating League. And yeah, so there are tournaments almost twice a month, if not more. And there's different kind of exposure in each tournament because we keep experimenting with different formats, which eventually also prepares you for like international tournaments. So like if you look at this is NSDA. America has this great association, that debating association, which works towards make like bringing about global debaters together to get them to debate, and eventually there are winners. There's Harvard Invitational, there's Paris World Schools debate. There's a lot of things that you can do once you have gotten into debating, and I've started to enjoy the process. But why should you participate in Republic Day Forensics, or why should you be motivated to work hard for it now that you have already like given consent for your participation? One, final will happen live at IIT Kanpur, which means IITs, if you don't know that already, are very prestigious, right? And you get to debate there, so it builds your confidence, but it also looks good on your profile, your CV. But secondly, like I said, there are multiple events in here, which means that each event will enrich you in a different way. So like, for example, Turncoat helps you think of things from two perspectives, like all the perspectives and not just one, right? Likewise, APD teaches you how to work within a team and ensure there is compatibility with your teammates. And then you welcome, I mean, also because this particular format is particularly about getting the younger students, for example, people from third grade onwards, to debate. So this is not something that we do very on a very usual basis, right? So we have simplified the format just so the younger lot can also enjoy the fruits of debating from an early stage. I hope we are able to meet all of your expectations from that regard. Activity-based training is going to be there. So today, what I'm going to discuss is also going to enrich you. So regardless of how you do in the formats, whatever you learn about the formats through this training, it's going to be super important and super like helpful in the future as well, whenever you want to go for debates. And then, of course, you're going to be given certificates, which is what the fifth slide, recognition and appreciation, means. Everybody who participates, gets through quarterfinals, semifinals, will get duly recognized, and it looks good on your CV. You can tell your school friends that you won somewhere. It always helps with the validation that all of us seek, right? There's a lot of schools that are associated with us. You can see that here. On to the tournament, but that's enough about what we do and how we can help you. I think let's talk about this particular tournament and what you've signed up for, right? The theme is Glory of Global India. Can anybody tell me what do you understand by Glory of Global India in general? Okay, don't scribble on my screen. Let's act mature. Can anybody guess what Glory of Global India might mean? Or in fact, you can, yeah.
How India got known like everywhere.
Okay, good. Others?
The great things that India has done for the world and how India is developing.
Ma'am, Indian history.
Okay,
How
I need
India
you.
was
Okay,
ruled by
wait.
a foreign country.
No, that's not the way
Ma'am,
to
the
go.
achieve.
I need you guys to raise your hands. Always maintain decorum when you're in a group of people. Yeah. Okay, I will take a response from SNT Dev Chatterjee.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the monuments of India.
Okay, Shalini.
Ma'am, the achievement India got in the world.
Can you give me an example?
Ma'am, like our culture.
Okay, what else? Others, I mean, Shalini, good response. Let me just recognize another person who can give me a response. Javier?
I think the glory of global India is like when like all the monuments and like how India was known by some countries, foreign countries.
All right, Akarshita. I can't hear you. Never mind, we'll come back to you. Abhilesh.
Indian achievements, ma'am.
Sorry, what?
Ma'am, Indian achievements.
Okay. Ahana.
Like the achievements of India globally and how it's developing more and more every day, like Rishi Sunak being the Prime Minister of UK.
Okay, good. That's an example. I was looking for an example. Everybody lower your hands now. While all of you, whatever you're saying stands true. Now, there are various ways of how a country can be glorious, right? How it can make itself proud. But what does global mean here? It basically means India's achievement, not within India, but outside of India as well, right? So this theme particularly will deal with, let's say, the non-residents of India, NRIs, right? And how much they have done. For example, there's a lot of famous writers who have worked having been outside of India, but they are of Indian origin and they write about India from, let's say, the UK or the States or wherever, right? This is to say that people like Rohinton Mistry, or like if you've heard of this person because he's more famous, Salman Rushdie, or like Rishi Sunak was a good example. Geeta Gopinath, who works in the International Monetary Fund now at a prestigious level. All of these people are examples of how India has achieved its share of the glory, which comes from it being spread far and wide, not just in itself, like in the country, the territorial the territorial expanse of what is called India, but also outside it, right? Now, let's just look at this slide and understand this particular theme a little better, right? On the proud occasion of Republic Day, we intend to enrich debaters' thinking by introducing new points, right? Now, what is global India? How does the slide respond to that? Motions on Indian diaspora, its upshots and future prospects. This might sound difficult. I'll break it down for you. Indian diaspora, what does that mean? This is a new word for most of you, I'm sure, because you're very young. So diaspora is India and how far it's spread as in outside of the country. So the Indians in the UK, the Indians in UAE, let's say Saudi Arabia, or the Indians in the US, in USA, in Canada, all of them put together make the diaspora. So when we say diaspora, we mean Indians who are situated outside of India, Indians who are spread across the world. Do you all understand what diaspora means now? Can you give me a thumbs up? If you do. Okay, not many responses. I'm still not satisfied. If you have a doubt, ask me the question or just give me a thumbs up. Abhilesh, yes.
Ma'am, can you explain someone?
Explain once again. Do you need me to explain once again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So Indian diaspora is basically, so for example, let's say there are a lot of flowers, right? And one flower, I mean, it's the same kind of flower. Let's say marigold, right? Now you find marigold in India, you find marigold in South Africa and Australia and America and Canada. In which case, if I want to put them all together, I can call it like a global bouquet or something, which means it's still flowers, but now it's a group of flowers that I'm referring to. Similarly, I have an Indian in India, I have an Indian in America, I have an Indian in UK, I have an Indian in some other place of the world. When I refer to them collectively, together, put together, I call them the Indian diaspora. That's the word that we used for the group of people who are outside of India. Do we understand now?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay. Moving on. Why is discussion on global India important? Because India's merit as a country with immense human resource needs to be realized. What does this mean? That there are a lot of accomplished people in the country, and we need to recognize their talent so that other people can also feel inspired, right? When they feel inspired, it makes more room for India to become more prosperous and be known across the globe for what they have achieved, which is why it's important to understand why the glory of global India. But then how are we going to discuss global India through Republic Day Forensics? So what we are going to do is that no matter which format you have signed up for, it could be turncoat, spar, Asian parliamentary debate, or dramatic adaptation. In each of that case, you are going to have motions or topics related to global India. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. So what you need to do is that you have to make sure you understand a little bit about like these famous people like who are coming up, like Kamala Harris and like Rishi Sunak and all of these people, because they're important to the Indian diaspora. Okay, moving on. The speech formats that we have in this particular tournament are dramatic adaptation. So what is dramatic adaptation and what are you supposed to do in that? Listen to this very carefully. First of all, give me a show of hands if you are participating in dramatic adaptation. Only 2 people? 3, okay. Okay, then there's 3 people, I think. So dramatic adaptation is about, so this is how it's going to work. We will give you a profile and you have to play that person. For example, I am Nitiksha, right? And if I was participating in the tournament, the organizing committee, which is the Indian Debating League, will give me a person's name that is called a profile. For example, of Mahatma Gandhi. If I have been given the profile of Mahatma Gandhi, I have to present my speech as Mahatma Gandhi. So I will talk about his ideologies, I will talk about what he wanted, etc. But the twist here is that I will play Mahatma Gandhi and then I will have a topic to speak on, right? That topic will be given to me by the judge when the debate is going on. Once the judge gives me the topic, let's just say topic is everybody should be allowed to use guns. Let's say that was the topic. So Mahatma Gandhi would definitely say, no, everybody should not be allowed to use guns because guns can be harmful and they can be used out of malice or out of bad intentions. So Mahatma Gandhi is a proponent of non-violence. I hope everybody knows that, which is why he's not going to agree to something like gun use in general, right? So this is how it's going to be. Sometimes people might be given the profile of B.R. Ambedkar, right? Or you might be made some Indian cricketer, let's say Virat Kohli, and then you have to speak on a topic. But you can't speak on the topic as somebody else or in terms of your personal views. You have to give me what the likely views of Virat Kohli might be or Mahatma Gandhi might be, according to whoever you have been made for that time being. Do you all understand how dramatic adaptation is going to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, Anaisha seems to have a question. Shoot.
Will the topic in person be given beforehand?
No, topic will not be given beforehand, but the person will be given beforehand.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. On to turncoat format then. Turncoat is pretty simple. If you are in the junior category, you will get 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. Please note this down if you're going to forget, because nobody will tell you this over and over again. In this 3 minutes, in the first minute of the 3 minute, you will speak for the motion, which is to say that you will support the motion. So if the motion says that this house will use guns as a citizen, then you will say, yes, we should use guns as citizens, or we should have the right to possess guns. But if you have to go against the motion, you will say, no, usage of guns by civilians is bad, it's harmful, we should not encourage that. This is so in the first minute, you will speak for the motion. In the second minute, you will speak against the motion. In the third minute, you will conclude. Okay. Now, nobody will tell you to switch, which means when your first minute is over, there will be a timer on your screen. You have to yourself go ahead and switch your stance. Nobody else will tell you that you have to switch your stance. All right. So that's that. But now, if you're in the middle category or the senior category, then you are going to get 5 minutes and not 3 minutes to speak, which means that you will say, like, you will deliver a speech 2 minutes for the motion, 2 minutes against the motion, and then 1 minute for conclusion. All right. Is that understood? Thumbs up, please.
Ma'am, what is in the conclusion?
Okay, good question. So when we deliver turncoat speeches, we talk on extremes, right? On one hand, I'm saying guns should be used. Then suddenly I'm talking about how guns should not be used. So to neutralize it, to actually come to a conclusion that is actually helpful, I need to say that, okay, maybe guns should be used, but with moderation. This is conclusion. What do you actually think should be the case? How can we ensure that there is a balance and not just yes or no to a question? Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Krishna Kant, your question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask that, ma'am, when we will be given the topic on which we have to do the turncoat.
The topics will be given to you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Because the debate will be day after tomorrow. So you will get the motions one day before the debate.
And then by which method we will get the topic? On our
Method.
emails? Yes, ma'am, on our emails.
Oh, okay. It will be through WhatsApp.
Okay, ma'am.
WhatsApp group. On which
And ma'am,
you
I
can-
want to ask one more thing that 6 to 8 is in middle category, na? Which are going to get 5 minutes.
No, 3 to 6th. 3rd to 6th is in the junior category. 7th to 9th is middle category.
Okay, ma'am. So these are they are going to get
No. 3rd to 6th will get junior category motions. 7th to 9th will get middle category motions.
okay, ma'am. I understood that 3 minutes one.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Yes.
Okay,
Ma'am?
ma'am. Thank you for explaining.
You're welcome. Javi?
Ma'am, so basically, in the turncoat, will everyone be given a different topic, or like will all of us get the same topic?
Everybody will get the same topic. Everybody gets the same topic. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for making me.
You're welcome. I see one more hands raised, but whose is it? Javi, it's still yours. Can you lower it now? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to the rest of the formats, Asian parliamentary debates. How many of you have heard about Asian parliamentary debates before? Okay, that's one person, 2 people, 3. How many of you know what Asian parliamentary debates are like? Okay, only Ahana. Fair enough. I will explain Asian parliamentary debates in detail because it's a team format, right? Which means that this is played in teams. Now, what is the difference between these two formats and these two formats, the ones that I just covered? This one. These two are speech formats, which means these are individually played. You don't have to partner up with anybody to participate in these, right? Now, cut to this format. This format alone is like a team format. But how does this work and how do you debate within APD? Okay, this is a 3v3 format. I will tell you what 3v3 means. 3v3 means 3 people versus 3 people. Okay, so there will be 3 people in one team and 3 people in the next team, and they will go against each other. That's what it is like in a room. So in one room, there are 6 debaters. 3 are on one side, 3 are on the other side, and then there is one adjudicator, one judge who will judge who wins the debate. Okay. Now, your teams will be given by us. Okay, we will make the teams and we will share what the teams are with you shortly, and then we will also give you the timing for the debate as to when will you have your debate. Okay. Now, there are 2 sides, and these 2 sides are called government and opposition. Okay. Government has 3 members, like I said. The first member is the Prime Minister. The second member is the Deputy Prime Minister. And the third member is the government whip. Can everybody unmute and repeat with me in synchronization? So on the government, who is the first member?
Prime Minister.
And Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
Okay, good. Who is the second member?
Deputy Prime Minister. Prime Minister.
Good. And the third member is
Government.
Government.
government whip. Now, before I go any further, let me just remind you, this format is not for 3rd to 6th grade category. I hope you know that. So whoever is in 3rd to 6th grade, right now you can just take a break while I'm talking about APT, because this is not for you. This is only for 7th grade onwards, because it's a bit of a complicated format. So you will be able to do debates in this later when you are on, like, in a bigger grade and like when you are older. So 7th to 12th, pay attention here. On the opposition, you have similar speaker roles, right? There is leader of opposition. There is deputy leader of opposition. And there is opposition whip. Okay. Can you all repeat with me? Who is the first speaker on opposition?
Leader of opposition.
Okay. Who is the second speaker on opposition?
Deputy leader of
Leader
opposition.
of
Excellent. The third speaker?
opposition whip.
Opposition.
Excellent. Okay. Now here's the twist. This is Gov and this is opposition. On Gov, you have PM. Okay. Prime Minister will give the first speech. Always remember that. Prime Minister starts the debate. Then the next speech, any guesses? Who gives the next speech?
The opposition.
Opposition
The
leader.
leader of opposition.
Good. Leader of opposition gives the speech after PM. Then Deputy Prime Minister gives the speech, DPM. Okay. And after Deputy Prime Minister, any guesses?
Opposition.
Deputy leader of
Deputy or leader.
Beautiful. Okay. And after DLO, who gives the speech? Any guesses?
government whip.
Government.
Okay, you guys already know the format, it seems. And then
Opposition whip.
Opposition.
perfect. Now here's a twist. Here's something that I didn't tell you. It's not really a twist. It's just something that I didn't tell you before. After opposition whip, there is another reply from opposition. So here you will see that before this, what was happening? First, it was one person from government, then it was one person from opposition, then it was one from government, again from opposition. Now it has changed. Now, after opposition whip, the reply again starts with opposition. Okay. So only for the reply speeches, reply is just summarizing the case and why you think you win, all of those things. In the reply, the order changes. After opposition whip, opposition reply comes. And after opposition reply, government reply comes. So government starts the debate always, and government also ends the debate always. Does that make sense to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In a motion, when you're given a motion, first let me clarify this. If you are in the middle category, 7th to 9th, please be all ears when I'm saying this, because again, you might get confused and then this might get you to suffer during the tournament. In the middle category, the duration of the speech is different from the senior category, okay? And I am sorry if my writing is really bad in this scribble, but it just helps you understand. So the time duration for your regular speeches, which is like the first 3 speeches are your regular speeches, the time duration is 4 minutes. You will get 4 minutes to give the Prime Minister speech, the Leader of Opposition speech, the Deputy speech, the Whip speech, okay? Whichever side you are on. And then the reply is shorter than the main speech. So, and it's half the duration. So can you guess what the timing for the reply is?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Perfect. I'm glad everybody is listening and is responsive. Okay, 2 minutes. Coming on to the senior category, here's the twist. You will give your main speeches, which is the first speaker, second speaker, third speaker, namely Prime Minister, Deputy, and Whip, as 6-minute long speeches. Okay? You have 6 minutes to deliver your speeches. But then the reply is the same as in the middle category, only 2 minutes of reply speeches. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Okay. Now what else about POIs? What are POIs? POIs are short for points of interjection. Interjection means asking a question to your to your opposition, to the opposition team. Who can ask a question, ma'am? Anyone from your team can ask a question. That's not an issue. Okay. So it's not just one person. If in my team, there is the prime minister, there is a deputy prime minister, and there is a whip speaker, they can literally ask a question to anybody on the other side, right? Deputy can ask the whip, deputy can also ask leader of opposition, government whip can ask a question. It can be either way. But the trick here is that your question should not be too long. It should be only 15 seconds. So before you ask the question, just write it down somewhere. Okay, just write it down somewhere so that your question is not too long. And when do you ask a question, right? That is also important. Let's just say that my speech is 4 minutes long, which is the case with which category?
Middle category.
Okay, good. So middle category will give their speech in 4 minutes. The first minute and the last minute of your speech is protected time. What is it?
Protected.
Protective.
Can anybody guess what protected time might mean?
That means in that time that the opposition can't ask you any POIs or interrupt you.
Okay, good. Somebody knows the answer. So in the first minute and in the last minute, which is to say here, in the first minute would be 0 to 60 seconds. That's my first minute. And the last minute would be the third minute to the fourth minute, right? In this time, nobody can ask me a POI. In between, you can ask me a POI. In the first minute and in the second minute, you can ask me a POI and I will take it. Okay. If it's a 6-minute speech, then what happens? The same thing. In the first minute, you can't ask me a POI. In the last minute, you can't ask me a POI. You have around 4 minutes in between to ask me your POI. Is that understood? Our Hira, whoever this is, just do away with the scribble, please. I will have to remove you from the meeting otherwise. Yeah, okay. Now we are talking about the reply speakers. Who are the reply speakers? Can you guess who gives the reply? So in one team, there are going to be 3 people, which means prime minister is a different person, deputy prime minister is a different person, and government whip is a different person. There are 3 different people. But for the fourth speech, the reply speech, who will come in? What do you think? What is your guess?
Ma'am, I think judges, ma'am.
Either the first speaker or the second speaker will come to give the reply speech. The third speaker can't give the reply speech.
Perfect answer. So the reply speeches are not by the judges. I mean, why would the judges support your case, right? In the reply speech, you have to support your case and say, panel, we should win for so and so reasons. You just summarize your case. So what Ahana is saying is right? Hira, okay, I don't like this scribbling. Please don't do it. It's very disappointing. PM, DPM, and government whip. There are 3 members, right? It is only the last member that cannot do the reply. And who is this last member?
Whip.
The
Government.
Yeah, the same thing applies to opposition as well. So don't think it's only for PM, DPM, and government whip. It's also for LO, DLO, and opposition. Okay, this person cannot do the reply. Any of these 2 people can do the reply. PM can do the reply, DPM can do the reply. No, nobody cares about that. But it should be the whip. I hope that is understood. Now, after this, APD is pretty simple. You will be given a motion. If you have been, and you will be given a side, such as government and opposition, okay? So the day you will receive all the details in the schedule, it will specify the motion and it will specify the stance or the side. Stance is for or against, okay? That stands for you. And motion is just anything related to global India or global glory of India, because that's the theme. I hope I've made myself super clear while explaining APD, because it was a tricky format. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you guys have still not understood the AP format, or if you think this one session is not enough or one run through is not enough for me to realize what APD is, just please go back to this recording, watch it all over again. It will give you better clarity. I assure you of that. All right. On to the SPAR format then. SPAR stands for spontaneous argumentation. Spontaneous means on the spot, right away. You give me a motion, I quickly start speaking on it, right? I mean, let's just say I just give you a statement. saying truth is the best policy, right? I don't give you any time to think, maybe just 2 minutes to think. You will get around 2 minutes to think, and then you suddenly have to start debating on it. So that's what spontaneous argumentation is. How does this work, right? You will be given 3 topics, not 1, 3 topics on the spot by your judge, and you have to say that this is the one topic out of these 3 that I don't want to do, right? What does this look like? Wait, there is this one topic, there's the second topic, there's the third topic. Don't look at it as numbers. Let's just say these were topics, right? I am on the government side, and remember, this is one-on-one. This is 1 versus 1, which means there is no team in here. So if I am on the government side, I will say I don't want to debate on motion 1. I don't find it interesting, or I can't come up with arguments on it. I am fine with 2 and 3. Okay. Now opposition also has the same motions 1, 2, and 3. But this person on opposition, they are fine with the first motion, unlike you. But they don't want the second motion. They think it's very difficult. So they say they are fine with first and third motion. Can you tell me which motion will be debated now?
The third
Third
motion.
one, ma'am.
Third motion.
So the third one will be debated.
Okay, good. Yes, because whichever motion is still not striked by either of the teams, that motion will be debated. This is how you will get your motions, okay, in SPAR. And then you quickly start debating on it. Topics are given on the spot, so there will be no WhatsApp motion release like for other formats. Again, I hope I've made myself clear. If I haven't, please just go watch the recording. You will have the access to this at all points in time. Okay. All right. On to the argument bit of yeah. So that's pretty much it from my side, actually. But I'll just give you a quick rundown of how to argue, right? Because this will be required in SPAR, this will be required in Turncode, this would be also required in other formats like APD. So when you think about a motion, I'm sure all of you will be able to come up with arguments. Before I go any further, I see a hand raised. I think it was yours, Karshita.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I wanted to ask a question. Which side gets to decide first, like which topic they want to strike?
Both of you will strike at the same time and give it to the judge, and judge will tell you.
Okay, and what is the time limit?
The time limit, there will be a document that will be shared with you guys, actually. So there's going to be a complete document which will mention all the time limit, everything that you need to know. Okay. But even otherwise, if you want that clarification, I can show you the document right away. But other than that, I was saying that I'll come back to your query, Karshita, all right? I'm just finding
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
the document to share my screen. Cool. So other than that, what I was trying to teach you all is how to make an argument, right? Because if you are absolutely new to this world of debating, you should at least know how to make an argument so that when tomorrow you get a motion, you know how to present your claim, right? Let's just say the motion was about Indians should not be allowed to study abroad. Let's say that was the motion. Can you give me any argument for the motion? If you had to go for the motion, and the motion is this house believes that Indians should not be allowed.
Excuse me, sir.
Who's this? Yes, Kashvi.
Can you just repeat the motion? I did not understand.
I will put it in the chat. Give me 1 second. This house will not allow Indians to study abroad. TSW means this house. Is it clear to everybody? Okay. Now, if this is the motion, can you give me one argument for the side for the motion?
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I was facing some network issues. So I was unable to from 2 to 3 minutes. Can you tell me what is going on?
There is a motion that I have shared in the chat. I'm doing that again. You have to give me one argument for the motion side.
Ma'am, for everyone.
No, just any one person can give me one argument.
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone, do you have an argument? Can you think about something? Why should we not allow Indians to study abroad?
We can study.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
I think that Indians should not be allowed to study abroad, because if they go abroad, then they stay in that country and they're doing good for that country, but then they won't do any good for their own country. So then what will happen to their own country? Their own country will have nobody. If everybody goes to study abroad, nobody will be there in their country.
Okay, all right. Nobody will be there in the country. But do you think everybody goes abroad? What do you have to say about that? I don't think everybody goes abroad.
I mean,
Ma'am,
No, let's let Javeer complete first. Yes, Javeer.
many people should maybe thinking to go abroad. Many people think to go abroad. That's what I know. But like if there's very less people in this country, then there'll be such less things to do in this country, because there are such less people. The companies will grow less, the company money will grow less, and the companies and other companies and buildings will be lesser, because there are less people in the country.
Okay, but Javeer, how will you answer this? People have the right to choose, right? Because so if I have the money and if I really work hard and I also want to live in America because I have lived in India, should I not be allowed to do that? Because America has better quality of life.
But then you're not doing good for your own country.
Okay, very good. Very nice. I like that argumentation, right? Now, what Javeer and I had between the two of us is kind of spontaneous argumentation. Do you understand? He was given a motion suddenly. I was given a motion all of a sudden. And we both started talking about it. And he had some arguments. I had some rebuttals. We sorted it out, right? At the end, I think Javeer just won. So you all understand, right? Okay. Do you all understand what SPAR would look like now? You will be given time to deliver your thoughts, and then you should be able to also, and there will be a crossfire round as well, which means both of you can talk to each other just like Javeer and I were talking, right? That will be towards the end. Okay. Other people, were there any questions? Now, there is something that I need you all to understand.
Me, sir.
ma'am,
Wait, Kashvi, what were you saying?
How much time will be given for SPAR?
2 minutes.
2 minutes
Yeah.
for the debating.
For for preparation. So you will be given a motion, and okay, let me just.
The debating time. I'm talking about the debating time.
You're asking about the speech duration. Okay, I am sharing my screen. All of you read this and ask me questions if you have any, even after reading this. Now read with me. It is a 1 versus 1 debate with each pair given 3 topics on the spot. I already told you how to strike topics, right? The debate consists of 3 things. Constructive speech. Constructive speech means the regular speech that you give. Crossfire. Crossfire means that you can talk to your opponent directly and ask them questions and they can ask you questions. And then reply speeches. Reply means I'm summarizing everything. I'm rebutting what the other side said. So for junior, which is 3rd to 6th category, 3rd to 6th grade students, 2 minutes of prep time, followed by 2 minutes of main speech. 1 minute will be crossfire. Okay, and 1 minute will be reply time for each of you. So you will give 2 minutes of speech, your opposition will give 2 minutes of speech. Then there will be 1 minute crossfire where both of you are allowed to talk to each other and just ask questions. And then in the last minute, you are supposed to give a reply speech. For the middle category, the components remain the same, but the time changes. 2 minutes of prep time, 2 minutes of speech, 2 minutes of crossfire, 1 minute reply. What changes? Nothing much, only the crossfire time. So in this case, the crossfire is 1 minute. In this case, it's 2 minutes. In the senior category, everything remains the same, but the crossfire time becomes 3 minutes. Okay, so your crossfire time will differ. This is something that your adjudicators will also let you know. So rest assured. Motion release, as it is mentioned in a different color for you to pay special attention to. I'll take the questions. Just give me 1 second. Will happen on the spot. Don't ask for motions on WhatsApp group for SPAR because it happens on the spot. That's what SPAR stands for. The SP is for spontaneous and AR is for argumentation, which means on the spot argumentation. Okay, questions, I'll take them now.
So this is not related to SPAR, but related to APD. So, when exactly will the topic be given? Sorry, the motion be given.
Okay, the motions will be given for APD tomorrow because the rounds will be held day after tomorrow. The rule for all the formats is that everybody will get the topics one day before the tournament. But if you are the junior category, you will get it in the early morning, you will get it early morning. And if you're in the middle category, you'll get it somewhere in in the middle of the day. But if you're senior category, you will get it one day before too, but then it will be somewhere in the evening. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and one more thing, for the APD, when will we be assigned to our teams? What teams are we in? So,
Yeah, you will be given your teams shortly. I think it will happen somewhere, I mean tomorrow only.
okay, okay, cool, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Arhira, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have one more question.
Just 1 second. Arhira, are we paying attention? Do we have a question? Okay, let it be. Who had a question? Nishita Agarwal?
Yeah, I did. So are you government or leader of opposition in APD? Will that be told to us? Will we be assigned?
Yeah, you will be given the stance. That's your
Okay,
stance. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else with a question? No, everybody is sorted. How many of you are coming for turncoat? Give me a show of hands. Okay. 4 people. I think there was a lot of people participating in turncoat. How come it's just 4 of you raising your hand? Okay, lower your hands. Thank you. Who all are participating in Asian parliamentary debates? Who all for Asian parliamentary debate? Just think and respond because I don't think everybody is responding. Otherwise, APD and turncoat had the maximum number of participants. Lower your hands. Who all are coming for SPAR? Okay. Who all for what is the format left? Dramatic adaptation. Okay, perfect. All right. I think I have a fair understanding of who all are coming. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do well. All the best.
And